between these like wealthy integrated like city and suburban areas and like the broader range of the country with more indigenous people is it's so incredibly stark. And my sincere hope is that, and this is something Evo Morales believed in, by the way, is that the shared appeal of socialism and of human dignity can be used to unite the population of Bolivia without necessarily playing off ethnic tensions. I think it's possible for Bolivia to advance, to develop, to become more humane, less segregated, without the leadership of that country having to pit indigenous people against the non-indigenous people. That would be my hope. So hopefully that is something that could happen. A lot of white people today were not viewed as white and treated worse than many minorities back in the day, sometimes just a little bit better. Irish, for example, were treated pretty much how blacks and natives were. The same goes for Italians and Polish. I have to push back against this. While the Irish, Italians, and Polish were indeed treated poorly and not considered like full white, they definitely were not treated as bad as the fucking indigenous people, dude. I don't think there's any group in America that's ever been treated as bad as the indigenous people. And then one tier above them is the black people. And then way above that, we have Irish, Italians, Polish. You know the whole "there were Irish slaves" thing? It's a half-truth. Most of the Irish slaves that were in America were actually indentured servants, for which there are some critical differences. If you're a slave and you give birth to a child, that child's a slave. Oops! If you're an indentured servant, that kid's a free citizen. Additionally, indentured servants theoretically consented to their indentured servitude, usually a trip to the New World being paid off by 6 to 10 years of labor in a given field. Now, obviously, they were pretty often coerced into this. There's no denying that. But it's certainly better than, again, slavery, where they will literally just catch you, you know? There's a big difference there. Yeah. Indentured servants could work to pay their debts. There were also rights indentured servants had that slaves didn't have. Have you guys seen what was it? It was 13 Years a Slave, right? Where the slave master had 12 Years a Slave, sorry. Where the slave master had some black slaves and one indentured servant from Europe. Do you guys remember that? And when the black slaves wouldn't get enough cotton, they would get whipped or whatever. But when the white indentured servant didn't do well, he was just like, "You do better next time," you know? Indentured servants had different legal rights. You couldn't kill them, for example. And also, they could go to the police if they were abused hard enough. Slaves had none of these rights. None of these rights. Still sucked for them, you know. Still sucked. Yeah, they weren't property. This is not true. No, what I'm saying is absolutely true. Yeah, 100%. Indentured servants were frequently worked to death. Yeah, yes. But that's not the same as being able to kill them. And I'm not saying that this never happened. I'm saying that they had legal rights. There's a difference between it being legal to kill you and it being illegal, but sometimes it happens anyway. There's a range. Every worker in a capitalist society is a wage slave. Yeah, true, but hey, at least we're not paying off 8 years of labor in order to get a trip to the New World, huh? Nowadays, beauty of the modern world, with plane tickets being the way they are right now, you can fly over to Europe for $300, especially during COVID season. What is that, a minimum wage? $7.25 is minimum wage federally. In California, minimum wage is like $12 right now or something like that. You get that, you cut off taxes, $10, you work 30. That's about a week's work. Fly over there. Better than 8 years. It's way better than 8 years. Ah, buddy! How much better life has gotten in some ways.